So you're halfway through building a car, and it's just like completely overwhelming. The amount of work, the unfinished tasks, they go on forever, and you can never see the light at the end of the tunnel. Kind of like how we're feeling now, huh, Al?
Dude, it seems like it's never going to end.
You've been cranking on this thing like every day.
Dude,
Every day.
It's body, filler, sanding, more body filler, more sanding. But we're making progress.
Making progress, but we really haven't even scratched the surface.
Oh no.
And you stop and you think about it. Well, all we've done is just kind of like put the big pieces in place and rough in some body work and rough in this and rough in that, but we still have to go through the whole thing and finesse it all.
Oh yeah.
We haven't been doing many updates on this project. Al has been covering like the daily updates on his channel.
Which is Mopar Al
Right.
on YouTube.
So if you guys are following this car, this build closely, that's where you're going to get the little nuts and bolts that are going on. And we just kind of fill in the big pictures here. So where we left off with this, I think the last time on this channel we showed the tilt front end and the chains.
The chains,
that,
yes.
right? This is the way the car is going to sit in the front now. We decided to go with Steelies all the way around.
Yeah, because I couldn't handle it no more. We had to get this front end on the ground and see what it was going to look like.
Yeah, it looks bad. These aren't the tires that are going to be on it, but you get the general idea of the look of the car. It is so 1960s funny car.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like 1965 Match Bash. You know, it's perfect. It's perfect. But we covered all of that already. So since then, the roll bar is in the car. Al scored these seats over here. You got a great deal on these seats.
Yes, I did.
Like $125 for the pair of seats with all of the mounting and everything else.
Hell, it was worth that for the aluminum plating that was underneath it.
Of course, right now everything is completely covered
Dust.
in bodywork dust. The whole shop, my whole world is covered with bodywork dust. So what we decided to do is we're going to knock out the bodywork first, then clean everything, and then we'll climb underneath and rework the rear suspension. There's several things we have to do with that. Finish the welding and whatnot. But right now we're trying to get past the dirty work.
I think after we get done with the body work, you and I just need to take a vacation.
Oh, please.
Because both of us are trying to get our energy back.
Well, it's the truth. We both had Rona, and we're both like dragging ass. It's like a Rona hangover, where you just don't have any energy. But, I mean, you could have fooled me. You're getting stuff done. He's been doing the body work on the rest of the car. I took on this quarter panel. I got it to where it was like, and then I took a hammer and just beat it all out. And I think we're better now.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, because the issue we were having was we were good through here, but we noticed we were getting a bubble.
Yeah.
And it was actually in the metal.
It was weird. It was weird. It's still weird, but it's less weird. And listen, sometimes you literally just have to take a hammer and beat the thing you're working on into submission.
And start over.
Right, start over again. And it's okay now. So I'll get back to sanding on that. But the reason why I wanted to do the update today is because over here, we got our 3 back. So we sent this up to Shacklets. It was a standard bore motor. There were a lot of marks in the cylinder walls. I wasn't crazy when I said, listen, if this thing will clean up at 10 over, just go 10 over on it. So that's what they did. We still have a few marks like here, right? You've got witness marks from the top rings and all, but that's okay, it's fine. It's a 10 over motor, and the reason why I wanted to stick with that 10 over is because I have a set of pistons that are going to work with this and the cylinder heads that we have to net what we're looking for, to net what we want. So the block is beautiful. Tomorrow we're going to do a whole thing on block prep and painting, because you can't just take a can of spray paint and like do this to the block and expect it to look good for any amount of time. So we're going to do the whole step by step, cleaning it and so on and so forth, and we'll cover that tomorrow. But that's the block. It's really ready to assemble aside from the cleanup, running through the bolt holes, just cleaning up the deck surfaces a little bit and give it a paint job. We got the crank back, it's a steel crank. We cut it 40 on the rods, 20 on the mains, but it's a beautiful crank. It's ready to go. We've got our pistons and rods here. These are 1969 383 2 barrel. Now, as you see, it's a dish piston. This surface over here is just about 20 thousandths down the hole, and this dish gave the motor an 8 3/4 to 1 compression ratio. We're using closed chamber 5/16 heads, which will bring our compression ratio into like the 9.5, 9 3/4 to 1 range, which is still like really pump gas friendly. And remember, the whole purpose of this engine is to do power tour. It's got to run on pump gas, get good gas mileage, and still net us 450, 500 horsepower so that it's fun. And then we're building the stroker motor for the no-name nationals, but we won't be looking at that until probably the summer. We'll get into that. In the meantime, this is the motor that we're going to do for that engine. And we're going to do some minor cleanup porting on the heads, and we'll cover all of that. Actually, what we'll do is we'll lay out all of the parts that are going to go into this engine, and I'll explain the combination and why we chose this and why we're going with that. And it'll all make sense, and you'll say, wow, that's a cool low-budget motor. We'll have about $3,000 total in this motor by the time we're done. So that's what's up with that. Now, as long as we're updating projects, Plan Z is ready to go back together again. Just needs some cleaning and whatnot. We fixed all of the little issues that she had here and there. The crank we got a fresh crank for it. That's all cut, new bearings and everything. The block is prepped. I had to do some welding on the deck over here because when I shaved the side of the block, I took a little bit too much off right here, and I had an oil leak. So we built this up with weld. It just needs to be cleaned up, and this will go together. So here's what we're doing with this. The weekend of February 26th and 27th. The track's open here in March, the beginning of March. The weekend of the 26th and 27th, we're going to do a live engine assembly, installation, fire up, and burnout. Hopefully we can do it all in one day. We'll try to do it all on Saturday. But just in case it goes over, because there's no way to tell with something like that, we're going to plan for both Saturday and Sunday. So just like we did with the Hemi car. So it'll be a live assembly and installation, and then fire up, break in, burn out. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. So that's what's up with that. And as far as Slag Hammer goes, it's just the work continues. It's just a bottomless pit. It's an endless, oh God, I'm telling you, guys, so many people get involved in a project and they get like to this point and they're like, I can't go any further.
Oh yeah.
But you start to avoid it.
Well, I mean, and that they start. It's like the other day I had a guy comment like, "Slow build." Well, I mean, these things don't build overnight.
No.
I mean, due to probably with other channels and stuff, they edit all that stuff. They take a 2-year build and edit down in 2 1-hour shows. And
Right.
I mean, we've been working on this study since
Oh God,
we started in November.
Yeah, it's been at least 3.
Because
December and honest.
Yeah, because I started a month before I was going to start on it.
Right.
And these things just take time.
Huge amount of time. Huge amount of time. The TV shows, people don't realize that they're done filming for the day, and then the work crew comes in, and all night long
Right.
they work on the stuff, and the next day they start filming again.
And the other thing people don't understand is too, this thing started out as a 4-door.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too. You got to realize with this particular car, this is like 100% fabrication. The only part of this car that's original and untouched is the roof.
Yep.
Every single component, every body panel, everything underneath
Has been either altered or modified or cut or reshaped.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's just, man, I'm getting ready to gut out the trunk.
It never stops. But if you want the updates, the daily updates, Al is covering them on his channel, so you can follow it along there, and I'm going to handle the mechanical end of things, the engine, the transmission, all of that build on this channel. And the goal is still to have this car running for Power Tour, which is due
In June.
Yeah, last weekend in June.
So, well, actually, it's June, I think it starts on the 17th. something like that.
17th. And then after Power Tour, then we kind of take everything back apart again and get it ready for the No Name Nationals.
Yeah, and then maybe hopefully do a couple runs with it before we go there. Just
Yeah.
kind of test her out, and whatever's going to break and fix it before we get ready to go.
All right. So that's it. There's the update. There's everything that's going on here now, and I'll see you tomorrow.